Okay, this is the electric load center, breaker box, service panel, call it what you will. You'll notice that we're in the primary bedroom suite bathroom. Electric load centers, breaker boxes, service panels, they should not be located in damp or wet locations. They do not belong in the bathroom. Okay? They should not be secured. These pointy little screws. These pointy little screws can eat up the insulation. Come in here, it could eat up the insulation. He's not going back. Come in here, eat up the insulation. He's not going back. Come in here, eat up the insulation. He's not going back. Got some space here. I'll put one here. Coming in here, eat up the insulation. He's not going back. I got some space here. I'll put one back here. I'm going to leave this back with only 2 screws. The rest of the screws are going inside of the cabinet. Alright, do no harm. I can't burn this thing up. Okay, speaking of this cabinet, you're supposed to have 17 inches of clearance. You're supposed to have 30 inches of clear space in front of it. We have insufficient service clearance, and it's in an improper location, and the cabinet was improperly secured. Now in here, we've got printed information about the circuit breakers. That's a good thing. Some of them are unsure or unknown, okay, so it's not completely wired the way it should be. But we do have, at least it was printed instead of handwritten over here. So now our cabinets, our wires are not supposed to be touching the edge of the cabinet. This is called bundling. You're only supposed to bring 2 cables at a time. This cabling right here, let me get something I can point with. This hole right here, this knockout is for L1 and L2. And your neutral. And then you have these smaller knockouts. You're supposed to bring in 2 at a time. 2 at a time. We didn't do that. We didn't do that. We put a bunch in there. It's called bundling. Okay, you're not supposed to have more than 1/8 of an inch gap between the cabinet and the wall. If this thing melts down, then, you know, our gap's too large. And our cabinet's crowded. Look at that. I mean, all these wires are up against the cabinet. All these wires are up against the cabinet. On our 220s, our whites, okay, we're supposed to have black tape on that. If you don't know that's a white hot, you don't belong in this cabinet. I get it. But you're supposed to have black tape on that. Our bonding location is not labeled. I haven't seen it yet. I don't know where the bonding is. I might identify it later. And it might be in the report or it might not. I can't find any bonding, and the bonding location is not labeled. So what did we learn? We learned that our electric service panel was improperly located in the bathroom, and it doesn't have the proper clearance in front of it, and it wasn't properly labeled, and it was got the improper screws holding it in place. We learned that our wires are touching the cabinet cover, and then we've got bundling. We learned that we got more than 1/8 of an inch gap around the cabinet. We've learned that we've got white hots in here, and our bonding location is not labeled. That's what we learned.